Portland leaders under pressure to reimagine downtown as property values plummet. And when they say plummet, they mean absolutely tank. They've gone from about $3 billion prior to the pandemic to current valuations now $1.3 billion, a 57% reduction. What is leadership going to do? Let's find out. Here we go. I'm going to watch a little video. But what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to how much focus and emphasis is placed upon street conditions, meaning why businesses don't want to be in downtown Portland, why businesses don't want to be in downtown San Francisco, why businesses don't want to be in downtown Seattle. Yeah, there's a common theme. Let's get to it.
Businesses are boarded up, office buildings are empty, and I have nobody who used to come every day for breakfast, lunch, or happy hour.
New tonight at 6, remote work is costing more than local businesses. Plummeting property values in downtown Portland are costing the city millions of dollars in tax revenue. That's tax money that would go to police, fire, parks, and much more. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for KT News at 6. I'm Deborah Knapp.
And I'm Rick Asway in for Steve Dunn. Our investigation found the city's general fund may lose more than $30 million in expected revenue over the next 5 years.
Sell it at will, drop fries. 2 chicken bowls all day?
This was Lisa Schroeder's dream.
Echo, you're working a presidential egg white blue cheese? Have a set of scrambled? Quesadilla, chicken bowl and spinach?
Owning and running a restaurant in one of America's best foodie cities.
13. Selling a quesadilla, then a chicken bowl and spinach.
But that dream has become a lot more like a nightmare in the last 5 years. What are your lunch crowds like today compared to before the pandemic?
If you take a look at our dining room, it's a fraction of what it was. You even said, can I come at noon? Before 2019, I'd say, no, we're too busy. Now I said, come on in because we have nobody to serve.
What do you attribute that mostly to?
Well, basically, our offices have emptied out. I am surrounded by empty office buildings and businesses.
Office buildings?
And here's the thing. People don't want to go back. If street conditions were fine, if they were no issues, then I think you'd have companies that are like, yeah, okay, all right, we've already got that lease. Or, you know what, downtown, it was a great place to be. We had all the food and all the, fun stuff, breweries and whatever. But that's not the case. And that's what everybody just wants to, just ignore. Yeah, I don't know why this isn't working. I don't get it. You've got some blame on the work from home, but you can't blame that entirely. You've cored out downtowns by allowing them to become the way that Portland has.
Once bustling with workers, now littered with for lease signs, a reminder of better days for downtown Portland. The bottom line shocks the conscience. Listen to this. Records K2 obtained from Multnomah County show Portland's 20 largest office spaces had a combined market value of $3 billion in 2019. At the end of 2024, those same properties were worth $1.3 billion.
Ooh, that is a haircut.
I honestly did not expect us to lose that much value in the downtown core and the commercial sector.
Portland City Councilor Mitch Green co-chairs the City Council's Arts and Economy Committee.
I think that reflects an old economic model that's not coming back. We built that downtown around tourism, and we built it around commuting to the central business district. And so if we're going to have a robust and resilient property tax base in the future, we need to be investing in a more diverse economic base.
The problem?
With absolutely no mention of street conditions. None. Hey, is it a place where businesses want to be? No. Why is that? Your customers, your management, your CEOs, they could get murdered on the streets. Oh, that's not good. No. That's part of the reason. Yes, work from home is a certain component of this, but also in the big Democrat-run cities, Seattle, San Francisco, Portland, there are poster childs for businesses not wanting to be there. I mean, we've had so many businesses. I've covered so many businesses on this podcast that have left these downtown cores for that very reason. And they've gone to the burbs, or they've gone to Texas, or they've gone to Florida, or they've gone to wherever. Away. They have gone away.
reveals itself in dollars and cents at City Hall. Get this, the city's economist anticipates the city will lose about $12 million in expected revenue this upcoming fiscal year. The total is roughly $33 million over 5 years. The gap comes from expected growth in property value based on historical trends and what's actually happening today.
The long-term prospects here are never in question. So
Mike Wilkerson is the director of economic research at Echo Northwest. He says Portland's problem is the here and now.
I think no one wants to wait 10 years to get back to where we were. So the question is, what are the interventions? What are the programming? What can we do to really accelerate that recovery curve?
Wilkerson says that means moving away from an employment-centric downtown and focusing more on arts, sports, culture, and even housing.
The challenge is there's no silver bullet, but the
going away from commercial, which is all built. All downtowns are either commercial or high-rise condos, right? With a smattering of retail. So you're gonna flip that. Now you need people to come and live in downtown. If your street conditions remain the same, they're not gonna come. They're not gonna go there because they don't want to get killed either. Hey, let's have the office workers get killed. Now, I mean, this is just, it's not that difficult to figure out. But if you go down these roads of constantly, hey, it's not safe, it's not safe, it's not safe, then you actually, you reaffirm that condition, which is what I'm doing. I'm just stating the obvious here. That's all I'm doing is I am stating the obvious. Hey, what about that one factor of, the homeless dude running down the street with the machete? What about that guy? How's that doing for your occupancy rates? Oh, not good.
The kind of components of recovery are known, which is we have to change the way we think about our urban spaces from what they have historically been.
Those decisions will largely come down to Green and his 11 colleagues on council. Despite the headwinds, Green is optimistic. He points to the James Beard Market coming to downtown and other events activating downtown in different ways.
I actually would say that I think everyone is on board with pushing back against this idea that we've kind of lost it and that we're, downtown's dead forever, right? Everyone's kind of on team recovery. I think people, my colleagues on city council, bring a lot of critical perspectives to the choices that we make. And so I'm really confident that as we develop this budget this year, it's going to put us on a path where we're making investments in our city that can stand the test of time.
Time is certainly ticking for city leaders to reimagine downtown Portland and reverse the city's fortune.
Oh, that med ball might need green onion.
For people like Lisa.
Your future and livelihood might depend on that.
Oh, not might. My future depends on it. Others' future depends on it. Downtown Portland's future depends on it.
The city also relies on business license taxes for its general fund. That's basically an income tax on businesses. However, it's been a little up and down the last few years.
A little.
The city usually collects about $200 million a year from those business taxes.
What I would counter, just going off of straight businesses not being there and not coming back because the whole work from home is when you've got headlines with man accused of threatening people with machete in Northwest Portland. When you've got stories like that coming out on the regular, on the daily, and people know that this is happening, that has a little bit of an impact as well. But nobody wants to focus on that. Here's another story. This is a homeless man was found dead early Saturday morning after a tent fire broke out at an encampment in the Howler Lake neighborhood of Seattle. Somebody had shot a flare gun into a tent and burned somebody up. That's in Seattle. Then you've got another one here. Man arrested after hatchet attack in Seattle. Guy's running around with a hatchet. Let's check this one out.
This is just into our newsroom. Seattle police arresting a 50-year-old man accused of attacking another man with a hatchet. This is video taken through the Citizen app as a spokesperson with SPD confirms officers rushed to the First Hill neighborhood on Union Street around 2:40 this afternoon. Authorities say a 34-year-old victim was taken to Harborview Medical Center in serious condition, and SPD say authorities found the suspect in his 10th floor apartment, handcuffed him without a fight.
So comforting. So comforting. So, I mean, bottom line is you've got just a bunch of lunatics running around, and it's not a wonder that businesses don't want to be there. I was looking at a retail map of ground floor closures in the downtown core that we know is just a pretty rough area. Man, I don't know what the percentage of retail closure is there in downtown Seattle, but it is significant. I mean, this whole section, it was a multi-big block area. Probably a third of the downtown core was vacant on retail because nobody wants to be there because of ridiculous stuff like what we're talking about here. News stories like that coming out. It's not safe. And yet people want to say, I don't know what they're talking about. Well, it's not just work from home, right? It's not just work from home that has created this massive drop in value. But, if we go ahead and just kind of ignore reality, let's just say, oh yeah, that's what's going on. So here's another big indicator. However, market values in some of the properties have dropped below the county's assessed value for the first time, and it's costing the city money it otherwise expected to receive had property values grown along historical trends. Now they're going the other way. You've got, you're going to have property owners appealing their taxes left and right, and that is happening. The city saw closer to 1% assessed value growth in 2024, the lowest on record for Portland since voters approved property tax measures in the late 1990s. The city's economist anticipates the city will lose about $12 million in expected revenue and roughly $33 million over 5 years. So yeah, let's focus on this for 1 second. Wilkerson said that means moving away from an employment-centric downtown and focusing more on arts, sports, culture, and even housing, decisions that will largely come down to Green and his 11 colleagues on the council. Build it and they will come. If you've still got the same street conditions that you have now, nobody will want to go to arts, nobody will want to go to sports, nobody will want to go to culture. And nobody will certainly want to live there. But let's go ahead and live in the fantasy bubble that the only thing that's wrong is this whole notion of, all the businesses pulled back during COVID and they just haven't sent their employees in since then. This isn't just a big blue city issue either. You've got the same issue happening in big Republican-run cities as well. It's just you don't have that automatic objection. You don't have the buyer objection to going into downtown because the streets are safer. They're cleaner. You don't have the lunatics running around with machetes, with hatchets. You don't have drugs all over. You don't have all of that influence that's negative as a buyer objection. Hey, you want to go rent a million square feet in downtown Portland? No, not really. Let's go to XYZ city because let's go to somewhere in Texas. Let's go there. And that's literally exactly what they're doing.